Okay, I get it. You guys want me to make Doey the Doughman? Fine, you win. I'll do it. My #1 requested video by far is to make a real life Doey the Doughman. And because it is spooky month, I'm gonna give you guys what you want. So in this video, I'll be making a real life Doey the Doughman, but made out of actual Play-Doh. But instead of me using some brand name dough, I'll be making my very own Play-Doh from scratch. The reason why is because it is way cheaper than buying just a bunch of Play-Doh. And also the whole point of my channel is to be resourceful and using products that are available to basically anyone. If that is, you want to have a real life Doey the Doughman inside your house. But before I go ahead and make the Play-Doh, I need to make a solid base out of foam that's in the shape of Doey. That way this project just doesn't collapse on itself and it's not too heavy, and so I don't spend a whole lot of money making Play-Doh. First, I'm gonna make Doey's big giant belly, and I'm gonna use some spray foam to cover a giant rubber ball. Once this is covered in foam, I'll go ahead and just pop it. Then I'll have a giant hollow foam ball. I need to cover this whole entire ball in saran wrap before I spray it with foam. That way the foam doesn't stick to the ball. Now let's get this ball covered in some saran wrap. Perfect. So apparently spray foam is toxic, so I gotta be careful. You hear that? It is solid. This thing is dry. It's the very next day and the foam is done drying, but the green ball is still inside, so I have to pop it and rip it out. All right. I'm letting all the air out nice and slow. Nice, look at that. I need to go ahead and trim down some of this foam that is just extruding out. I shaved down the ball to the best I could. So the way I want Doey to be positioned is I want him to be sitting down with one of his arms in the back to support him, and then his other hand is up in the air just like waving. So I think having him sit down and having his legs kind of kick out like this would be, first of all, kind of cute, and second of all, it would make it so he wasn't supported by those little tiny legs he has. But of course, this is just his belly. I still have to add the chest, which is some more foam that I'm gonna have to spray on top. Before I do that, I need to construct the arms really quick. That way I can spray foam them into place. For the arms, I'm gonna be using the pool noodles that I had left over from my Yarnaby project. Be sure to check out that video. I already cut them to size, but of course, they can't hold their shape, they just bend right back. So in order to keep their shape, I'm gonna take these metal stakes that I had left over from my Mimic project. Make sure to check that out as well. I'm just gonna stick this inside, just jam it in there. Yeah. And now I can bend it how I want, like this. So there you go, this one is bent like he is waving, possibly. We can make this one the waving arm. And then this one, I already put a metal rod in there and bend it to have him be propping himself up. Now his arms aren't all skinny like a noodle. He's got some thickness around his hand. I'm gonna wrap some aluminum foil around those parts just to give it a little bit of thickness. So let's go do that. Both the arms are done and looking pretty thick, but before we put them onto the body, I'm gonna backtrack a little bit, and I came up with this really good idea. This idea will allow him to actually stand. These are bed risers, and I had these in my house. And guys, when I say I find things in my house, I mean it. I try to make my projects as affordable as possible so you guys can make them too. I hope you guys know that. If I can use the spray foam to adhere the bed risers to the ball, I can get them to stand up, which I think would look a lot better in my opinion. So I'm gonna go ahead and spray foam the risers onto the body. That way it is secure. I have got the legs securely onto the body, and here is the body as of now. I also went ahead and added a bendable metal pipe that will be for the neck. I'm gonna add the head in a little bit. I'm gonna do that after I put the arms on. Now it's time to put both of his arms on. And to do that, I'm gonna be using some spray foam and build up more of the chest, and that'll hopefully keep the arms glued into the chest. I have got the foam sprayed on there, and it is holding the arms into place. And it's been a couple hours, so I'm able to touch it, but it's still a little squishy, so I won't be able to carve it. So while I wait for that to dry, I'm gonna go ahead and make the last body part before we can put the Play-Doh on. I have these 2 foam spheres that are gonna be perfect for the head. I already went ahead and sketched a face of Doey, and I think it looks pretty good. I've got both the inside of the domes covered in paint. So now I'm gonna take a what's this called? Foam cutter, hot wire foam cutter, and cut out both the eye holes and the mouth hole. I've got the eye holes cut out, I've got the dark blue painted inside, and I also got the 2 spheres glued and taped together. Which means the last step is to put this onto the neck. I got the head, I am out of frame. I've got the head onto the neck. Now I gotta use some spray foam to secure it into place. And once that's done, it's time to make the dough. Not that kind of dough. The base of Doey is done diddly done Doey done, and it is early morning, brand new day, which means it is time to make the dough. Gotta get him off the table first. All right, welcome to Baking with AJD. We are gonna be making some homemade Play-Doh. First ingredient, 25 pounds of flour, lots of salt, some vegetable oil, a bunch of jars of cream of tartar, and of course, some food coloring. I'm gonna need to mix all these ingredients into this giant bucket. The first color we're gonna make is this iconic blue. There are so many recipes online for Play-Doh, and a lot of them have different measurements, but the one I found that looks the best to make a decently big batch has 4 cups of flour, 8 teaspoons of cream of tartar, 1 1/3 cup of salt, 4 cups of water, a 1/4 cup of vegetable oil, and some food coloring. Now, of course, Doey is a giant blob of dough, so we're gonna need a lot more dough than what this recipe needs. First, I'm gonna double what it says because I don't think any more can fit in this. All right, so the first thing we need is 4 cups of flour. So because I'm gonna double it, I'm gonna do 8 cups of flour. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Next is 8 teaspoons of cream of tartar. Oh, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and 16. Now I need 1 1/3 cup of salt, so that is 2 2/3 cup of salt. Call me Salt Bae. This is the 1 cup, as you guys dab in. Second cup, 1/3, and 2/3. All right, so I'm gonna go and give it a good stirring before we add any of the liquids to it. Now that it's all stirred, I'm actually gonna take this inside my house because I need to bake it. And in there, I'll add the vegetable oil, the water, and the food coloring. So let's go bring this inside. All right, welcome to the kitchen. I've got my concoction on the stove, but first I need to add the water. So I have 8 cups of water. Whoa. Okay. Then I have half a cup of vegetable oil. Now that all that's in there, I'm gonna add like 1 or 2 drops of blue food dye. That way it starts to light and I can always add more to darken them up a little bit. That was 3, I'm an idiot. So now I need to put him on medium to low heat. Not him, this. Okay, now we mix. Just keep mixing. Let's turn on a light here. What the? Was he in here the whole time? Let's cook him. It's cooled down a little bit, so now I'm just gonna take it and just start kneading it. It's still hot, but that's okay. No, it's not, that burns. Blah! That's a lot of Play-Doh. It's a good sound right there. Look at all of this. Oh my gosh. All right, this is what I've got so far. But first, let's go put this on them. Here is the platter of dough. It is super heavy. It does not look like a lot, but I'm hoping that it can cover at least the head, the neck, and some of the body. So let's put it on them. Doey's head and neck is completely covered in the dough, and this is how much dough I have left. It doesn't look like a lot, but it should cover quite a bit. That is as much as I could get done with the Play-Doh I had left, but I went ahead and baked some more. This should cover the rest of the body, hopefully. All of the blue dough is made and put onto Doey's body. So now here is a montage of me making all of the red dough. Here's the red dough, and oh my gosh, I am literally about to lose my mind. This is not the red that is on Doey. I used 2 bottles of red dye. I used all of these paint bottles and nothing. It is this like pale, almost pink red. I don't get it. I don't know. So when I put this on the body, I'm just gonna spray paint it red. I don't care. I don't care. I don't, you know? got the red Play-Doh on there. I don't like the color of it, so I'm gonna take some red spray paint, make it more vibrant. Now that's much better. Now that the blue and red dough are done, it's time to add the yellow dough. So let's get this montage started. The yellow section of Doey is completely done, so the very last color dough is the orange dough. I ended up making the yellow batch 3 times as much as the recipe calls for, and I ended up with this much left. So this is over half of the yellow that I made. So instead of cooking up just a completely new batch and wasting all this yellow dough, I'm gonna see if I can just dye this orange. So I added some food dye to it to test it out, and I got this color, which is pretty good. That surprisingly worked very well. So now I got all the orange dough I need, hopefully. Let's go put this on his arm, and that is the last piece of dough for Doey. And of course, I can't forget his little top hat. My fellow viewers, the project is done. Without further ado, here is my giant Doey the Doughman that I made completely out of Play-Doh. And here it is. Here is my ginormous Doey the Doughman sculpture that I made completely out of my own homemade dough. This project is actually super duper difficult. I know I probably made it look easy on camera, but the process of making the dough and actually putting it on the body was so difficult. I did the best I could do using affordable products, so you can try it for yourself. Let me know what project you want me to make next, and I'll be sure to do it. Peace.